Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to talk about question 9.9. We will try to understand it. The chapter which we are related with is labor costing. As you know, we are related with management accounting and we are directly or indirectly concerned with three major factors: material, labor, and FI. And usually I discuss the same thing for before the starting of every question. And again, I am saying the same thing that there is no profit loss statement, there is no balance sheet. We are not talking about financial statements. We are directly associated with manufacturing concern. This is the beauty of management accounting, where we will be working only upon three major factors: material, labor, and FH. Under labor, we have already solved 8 questions, I think, and each question was a source of learning how we can pay to our manufacturing workers in different ways. Mainly, in all questions, we have used two main methods of calculation of wages. First was time rate method, in which what you have done, how many hours worker had worked, and you had paid him according to per hour rate. And then you have seen piecework rate system, under which number of pieces multiplied by per piece rate system. So these are two methods, and even if you are using, look over here, requirements are piecework, Halsey and Rowan, whatever the method is, actually we will be using the same thing. Either it's time taken multiplied by per hour, or either pieces made and per piece rate. So directly or indirectly we will be relating with these two methods. Appearance of the question is in front of you, and you can see that it's not a very long question, but concept wise it is very important. Actually, it is for calculation of total cost of factory. In CGS you have already in your mind, in CGS chapter, how to calculate your factory cost, and I was just reminding you three main factors related to management accounting: material, labor, and overheads. In the similar way, we will calculate our total cost over here as well, uh, using material, labor, and FH. For this, first part is obviously related to this chapter. We will be working on piecework rate system, and we will be calculating our labor cost as our first step. For piecework rate system, it has been described: piecework rate system contains a formula where you will be working on units, and it would be multiplied by per unit. So this is your formula which would be used, and same formula is written over here as well. The pieces multiplied by per piece, or you can say units multiplied by per unit. Just remind yourself, we have introduced another formula in previous questions as well. For piece rate system, you can also use standard time, and it would be multiplied by per hour rate. You can also use this formula as well. And here, this formula is actually for piece rate system as well. So let me clear you. This formula is an alternate formula for piece rate system. Now there will be an objection from you. Why? Because you have used this formula for piecework rate system, while actually what you are doing, you are putting standard time over here. So there is a difference between, this is your piecework rate system, you are using standard time and per hour rate. Now that's the problem. While calculating piece rate system, you were supposed to write pieces and per piece rate, and instead of pieces you are using time. So that is what, if in case you do not have I was actually settling it, and it is not being settled. Let's settle it in a different way. Okay. So we were debating about the formula. Actual formula is units multiplied by per unit, and here you can see pieces multiplied by per piece. This is original formula for piece work rate system. So why I have written this alternative formula? You can use both formulas and answer of both formulas would be same. Standard time multiplied by per hour rate. And there is another reason of elaborating this formula in our question. You can read from here to till end of the question. You would not find your number of units in any way. Number of units are not mentioned over here, so there would not be possible for us to calculate piece work rate system. Pieces are not mentioned, per piece rate is not mentioned. We will, though we can calculate per piece rate, but in absence of pieces, this formula would never be completed. That is why in previous questions we have introduced this formula, and in this chapter or in this part we will use the same formula for the calculation of total wages. All right, so here we will write our standard time. This is our first thing to be introduced. Let's have a little more space for it, and then you need to have per hour rate, which would be given in your question as well. And finally, to calculate your amount of wages, what you will do, total wages or labor rate, standard time would be multiplied by per hour. So instead of S, we should write complete. Standard time would be multiplied by per hour. Okay, and the same formula was written over there as well. This alternative formula we will be using to calculate our wages, where standard time would be multiplied by per hour. Standard time multiplied by per hour. This way you will calculate your labor, and then in question we are actually calculating our total cost. Total cost is sum of material, labor and FH. So wages we will calculate in this way, and then we will calculate our FH. Finally, we will look at material, and total cost will be calculated by adding material and labor or wages, and finally FH would be added to calculate your total cost. When this question we had started, I have introduced that in management accounting we are related with only three factors: material, labor and FH. Material is given in the question, FH is also mentioned in the question, wages as usual, chapter labor we are doing, we will calculate our wages, and finally sum of these three would be our total cost. And same would be done for Halsey, second part, and same would be done for Robin. So now it's time to read our question. Here, worker takes 9 hours to complete our job on daily wages and 6 hours on a scheme of payment by results. Okay, what does that mean? It means normally the standard of completing that job is 9 hours. But a scheme has been introduced and he has completed that job within 6 hours. It means efficient working. Here you can decide that there are few things which should be mentioned over here. S means standard time. It was given as 9 normal, and then you have time taken, that was 6, and rate per hour is also mentioned. Let's see how much rate per hour. This is 7.5 per hour rate. We can mention it as well. So there are three things given in the question, and we have read it. 9 in normal way, 9 hours were given for completion of one job. The worker had completed that in 6 hours. So 6 hours would be time taken, 9 would be standard time. 6 time taken, 9 standard time, and per hour rate we have mentioned 7.5. It would be easy for us to use this information for calculation of second and third part as well. Now here standard time was given as 9, per hour rate is mentioned as 7.5. So instead of going back to question and back and returning again to the solution, so we have mentioned all of required information over here. We will not have to scroll our pages. Finally, we will be able to calculate our wages. How? Standard time would be multiplied by per hour rate. This is your standard time. What? 9. And it would be multiplied by per hour rate, which is 7.5. So in this way, your total wages have been calculated. And now you will have to add FH. For that, go back to the question. Overhead are recovered at 150% of direct wages. We have calculated our wages over here, and FH would be calculated how? We will take wages and will finally multiply with 150%. So this would be the way with which you can calculate your FH as given in the question. Okay, guys, now you see what we have to do. Wages would be multiplied by 150%. These are the wages we have calculated, and we will take 50%. Wages are 67.5. It would be multiplied by 150 and divided by 100. 150% of wages would be calculated. So we have total wages, total FH. And now let's see how much material cost is mentioned in question. Material cost is 400. So put 400 in material column. All three items are now ready. We have completed our target. This is your total cost. How you will calculate material plus labor plus FH? First, this is 400 your material, then 67.5 is your labor, and then FH 101.25. So finally you have calculated your total wages 568.75. Piecework rate system is completed 568.75. So guys, let it mark as our answer. First part has been completed. Now it's time to see our second part. And can you imagine, we will be doing the same thing over here. First we will calculate the wages, and then we will calculate FH, material, and total cost would be calculated. Since we are following second part where it has been described to calculate labor wages according to Halsey premium plan. So first we will write the formula. Halsey says that there are three things which would be included in this formula: standard time, time taken, and rate per hour. And same three figures would be used for calculation of labor cost according to Halsey premium plan. Now let's describe its formula. You will be taking small t time taken. Okay, it has arrived by itself. Okay, this is your formula, and you can see time taken multiplied by small r plus 1 over 2 s minus t, and then multiply by r. This is your formula, and now let's put the amounts. And same amounts which are written over here, these are inputs from the question, so we don't have to go to the question to see them again. Standard time 9, time taken 6, and rate is 7.5. Follow this formula. Time taken 6, first we will open the bracket, then 6, it would be multiplied by per unit rate 7.5, per hour rate, or per hour rate 7.5. Then you need to add, open bracket, 1 over 2, and then you will multiply, open the bracket again. Standard time is what? 9. and then you will subtract time taken, which is 6, close your bracket, and then multiply it with rate per hour, which is 7.5. Close the bracket. This is your statement, and now we will put it on our calculator. It's important to focus, because you can use your calculator within a single screen, and everything present in this formula can be calculated. So what you will do on your calculator, open your bracket, 6, and then multiply it with 7.5, close your bracket with care, then add, again open your two brackets, 1 divided by 2, and it would be multiplied by, again open your bracket, 9 minus 6, that is 3. So we can skip one step. 9 minus 6 is 3, and 3 multiplied by 7.5. So you can directly write 3 multiplied by 7.5. Now we will be closing our brackets, two brackets here, two brackets here, so we can now calculate 56.25 is your amount of wages. So after calculation of wages, we will be following this statement, and same statement we will be using for our next step. Here wages are calculated, but according to Halsey, and those wages were calculated over here, and we will use it directly. So amount of wages 56.25. Next step is to calculate your factory overhead, and in your question it was mentioned 150%. Same will be used for Halsey as well. And how would you calculate your 50% of wages? Amount of wages 56.25, and you will multiply it with 150 divided by 100. There you will calculate your 150% of wages. How you have calculated it? Amount of wages 56.25 multiplied by 150 divided by 100. FH is calculated. For material, question is helping us. Material cost is 400, so you can directly put 400 over here. And finally, total cost, total factory cost, material plus labor plus FH. Here cost of material was 400, then cost of labor or wages 56.25, then add wages, add FH, which is 84.375. So we have got our wages as well. These three helping calculations made us to calculate our second answer, 540.625. So here you can see 540.62. Halsey premium was our requirement, and we have completed it. So let's mark this second answer as it has been done. For third part, we will see what is requirement. Let's go to the question. Rowan plan. Again, we will be following a formula for calculation of wages, and Rowan premium plan formula I would like to write over here. First you will open your bracket, and then time taken would be multiplied with R, close the bracket, and then add, open bracket, and you will subtract time taken from standard time. It would be divided by standard time, close your bracket again, and then multiply it with T into R. So in this way you will complete your formula given by Rowan. It looks very complicated, but believe me, it's simple to write. I don't have to remind it by myself. It's so easy. So I'm just asking you, rather requesting you to repeat it for 5 to 6 times, and you will not be having any botheration. Now it's time to put the amount over here. So what you will do, open your bracket, time taken. Okay, it has been vanished. So let's go back and take this and write down in front of third part as well. This is your third part. Just for our convenience, we have taken these amounts. Okay, start your bracket. Time taken was 6. Put 6, then you need to multiply with per unit rate 7.5. Okay, Excel usually offers to copy it, but it's Halsey, so we will not copy it and will follow our steps according to our formula written over here. Plus, and then two brackets would be started, and we need now standard time, and standard time is 9. Then next is sign of minus. Time taken is 6, and then you will close your bracket, divide, and divided by standard time, which is 9. Okay, again close your bracket, sign of multiplication, open bracket. We are following last part. Time taken is 6, and it is needed to be multiplied by r per unit rate 7.5. Okay, close your bracket. So this was your statement. It's now easy to put it on your calculator, for which what you will do, let's start again. Bracket open, 6 would be multiplied by 7.5, and try to learn it. Why? Because on calculator, either you will have to solve each part separately. This bracket separate, second bracket separate, third bracket separate, and then you will be multiplying last two, after which you will add it. So there will be a lot more steps if you will be calculating manually on calculator. Where when you will use scientific calculator, within single statement you can calculate this whole statement. Okay, now there are two brackets which would be opened. In first bracket you will write 9 minus 6. You will close your bracket, divide it with 9, and then again close your bracket, and then you need to multiply by opening a bracket. 6 multiplied by 7.5, close your bracket. Okay, it was 7.5. Let me check the number of brackets so that it could be easy for me. So one more bracket is needed to calculate collective answer. So in this way, number of brackets we have to count. Opening brackets 3, 4, and closing brackets are 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm very hopeful that brackets are okay with it. So finally we have got our answer, and that is 60. Right now we have just calculated wages. So for calculation of total cost, we'll again hire these headings to complete our third part, and we'll use the same headings over here. So first column we changed, instead of Halsey, now we have followed Rowan plan. Under Rowan plan, we have calculated these wages. Let me clear it. All right, now we are okay. So wages were calculated 60. You can put over here. And next step is what? To calculate FH, which is 150%, and that was mentioned in the question. Overhead are 150% of direct wages. How would you take amount of wages 60, and now you need to multiply it with 150 divided by 100. Please note it down. In this way you have calculated your FH as well. 60 multiplied by 150 divided by 100. Material is mentioned in your question, and that is material cost 400. So directly put 400 in material. Alright. Final step is what? We can calculate now total cost, which is sum of material, labor and FH. Material is 400. Add your labor, which is 60, and then add your FH, which is 90. So we have got our third answer 550, and you can see third answer is also 550. All answers are matched. And can you imagine, I was just sharing for yourself that our lectures are 100% live lectures. There is no editing, there is no stoppage, there is no pause. We directly put the amount and directly calculate it. So thankfully all answers comes at first stage without any trouble. So I'm very thankful. Okay, dear guys, your question has been completed. Though it was looking short, and I am willing to let you see the volume of this question was from here to here. Let's make them to be presented on single page. If we have a view of single page, no, we don't have. Let's zoom off to let you know the total question shape more down. Okay. So here you have your no, three answers are not coming in the same screen. 568 first, 540 and 50. This is total volume of your question, and you will be making and arranging by yourself when you will be solving on your paper. So let's review it. First answer was 568.75. So first answer 568.75 is visible over here. Second answer 540.62. Second answer 540.62. And third answer is 550. This is your third answer. 550 is visible over here as well. And third section 550. All answers as usual we had reviewed. Question 9.9 has been completed. The most important part was to understand that we do have piecework rate system. We do have two formulas. If number of pieces are present, number of unit or number of pieces, the same thing. If number of unit or number of pieces are present in the question, then you will use piecework rate system. And alternate formula is also available for piecework rate system. When number of units are not available, you can use standard time instead. So standard time multiplied by per hour rate you have used to calculate your wages. Standard time was 9, per hour 7.5 you have multiplied, and finally you have got the wages. This is the key point. And in second part of your question, nothing was special. You have used this formula of Halsey and put after putting the amounts in formula, you have got the answer. So nothing is special, and same procedure you have followed: wages, FH, and material labor FH. Third, again, it was usual question. You will have to have this formula in your mind. Remaining is lower than your standard. Why? Because just by putting the amounts in formula, you will get your answer. So important factor is you must have Rowan and Halsey formulas in your mind, and then repetition of same formula to calculate total cost, where you will add material, labor, and FH. So in this way, our question has been completed 9.9. Even after putting this much time, you are very open to ask your queries, your question, your problem. Whatever the problem is, please do not be shy. Even if you are sitting in your class, when there are other students present as well. But I am requesting you, just don't hesitate. Put your question, and I will surely be available for answering them instantly as well. And let's say if you are unable to ask these questions in your class, you are very open to text messages, WhatsApp, call, whatever way is useful or fruitful for you, just use it. Whatever the method is feasible for you, just use it, ask your question, and I will try to answer them instantly. 9.9 is ended. Hopefully we will be meeting soon again for the solution of any other question in future. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I am requesting you to please pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.